Moored to the LS&I ore dock in Marquette's Upper Harbor, the Arthur M. Anderson is revealed by the rising sun on this crisp fall morning. The Anderson is perhaps the most well-known ship currently sailing the Great Lakes, famed for her role in the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. She was the last ship to have radio and radar contact with the doomed ore carrier during that November Gale in 1975. Today, the Anderson is owned by Canadian National's Great Lakes Fleet subsidiary and is thus a regular at those docks in Minnesota, rarely calling at the LS&I. However, she is here today to load iron ore chips, or fines as they are sometimes known, a low-grade product consisting of pellets dropped and then reclaimed along the railroad or which failed to meet size specifications at the mine during the pelletizing process. The roundness and size of typical iron ore pellets is not just handy for shipping purposes, but also for the blast furnace. The open space left between the spheres allows air to flow throughout the batch, decreasing the time and energy required to melt it all down, while allowing oxygen to pass through and carry away impurities. What's more, the mine carefully controls the chemistry of the pellets to ensure a consistent product, further reducing work at the mill. Thus, it is easy to see why out-of-spec pellets, either by size or by being picked off the railroad tracks, are considered less than ideal. Thankfully, there is still a market for this product, as this scene demonstrates. A couple of ships per year arrive to ferry the fines off to a mill which is willing to accept the ore for pennies on the dollar in comparison to the regular product. Typically, the ore will be used to make lower grade steels or simply require more time and energy to create a higher grade final product. For anybody who has witnessed the contemporary shiploading process at this dock before, it's easy to notice the odd procedure taking place here. All of the chutes are down at once, with the gates left partially open in order to drop the ore directly into the ship from the rail cars. This change in process is because the chips tend to leak out the bottom of the dock pockets, creating a huge mess on the dock below. As one might imagine, the dock workers are not fond of shoveling it all up, nor are the ship crew members, who have to walk all over it when it's time to let the lines go for departure. Add to that the nature of the fines to coagulate if it rains, and it usually makes more sense to dump the ore cars directly into the ship, as we see today, instead of loading up the dock, hoping it all flows out, and then shoveling up the mess later. So for the duration of loading, the chutes are left lowered and the gates open for a direct transfer from train to ship. It ends up taking about 2 to 3 times longer to load this way, on the order of 12 to 18 hours. Later that afternoon, after several more cuts of ore were dumped, the Anderson was set to depart, backing out of the dock slip and performing a turnaround to head for the open waters of Lake Superior, and ultimately the ArcelorMittal steel mill in Burns Harbor, Indiana.
Yeah, and I was like, I was looking at road traffic, you could see them on the horizon, and I was like, oh, it's going to be 45 miles. No, hour and a half later, they're finally pulling in. I'm like, hey, Barker was down at the tire stock yesterday. So after church, I went home and I changed, and I went to Alright, what station are
How are they picking this up?
I don't know.
Because I've never known people pick up in here.